Hello and welcome. My name is Amanda and this is my channel, Her Pacific Northwest Washington Life. And today we are kicking off the week 27 reading vlog again in front of my bookshelves because I've got the setup ready to go. So why not take advantage of it? Really quickly, I want to wrap up the one book that I didn't finish telling you about at the end of the week 26 vlog, and that is The Fork, the Witch, and the Worm by Christopher Paolini. This was the last book I needed for my Make Your Myth Taker path to be a fairy. There's today and tomorrow left in that readathon. I'm not going to pick any other books to fit towards any other prompts, so my fairy didn't gain like any extra abilities or things like that. But I did finish this last night in bed. I had about 100 pages left, and I'm giving it just a 3-star rating overall. I'm not putting it through my normal rating system just because it's an anthology, and I feel like anthologies don't fit very well within it. So I kind of take my overall feelings about each section and kind of average them out. I really liked the fork section and the witch section in this book, but I didn't care so much about the worm section, and the worm section was the longest section. It was actually a short story that Christopher Paolini had written in between a sci-fi series that he's working on, and wanted to get back to the world of Alagasia, and so he decided to write the short story. The worm follows an Urgal tribe who gets, I guess, kind of a little destroyed by this giant dragon called Vermund, and he ends up basically camping out on top of this really tall mountain that their village sits under, and every once in a while he'll come down and wake up from his slumber and ransack the village some more. So they've kind of put up precautions, built kind of shelters that when he wakes up they can go hide in, and kind of live their life around this dragon and its kind of unexpected or unplanned for behavior. There's a lot of animosity towards it because he did take out quite a number of their population, and one Urgal we follow in particular is named Ilgra, and the dragon killed her father, so she wants her revenge on the dragon. And it spans a couple years of her just kind of growing and learning and putting this master plan in place to take out Vermund and stuff like that. So I liked it. I just thought it was a little drawn out. I liked the beginning, how we're following Aragon a couple years after the events in the inheritance cycle, and he now has this wealth of responsibility. He is responsible for the Elendari, and he also has to basically like sort out a whole bunch of affairs and sort through a bunch of information and archive it, and also kind of build a new, I guess, kind of school sort of thing for when the dragon eggs do hatch, and training the new generation of dragon riders and things like that. So because he's stressed out, the Elendari decide to tell him some tales, and that's where the 3 tales come in and stuff. So it's just a cute little book that if you were missing the world of Aragon and the inheritance cycle, to be brought back into it and get a couple more stories, get to be with Aragon and Saphira again and just live in the world. I enjoyed it for what it was. The other thing, well, I guess new now, is that I decided to start the Hero of Ages, which was, I was supposed to read this in June, and I have not been wanting to pick up these books. I felt this way a little bit about the Final Empire. I felt it strongly about the Well of Ascension, and then really, really about the Hero of Ages. I don't think I'm gonna stick with the Cosmere read along anymore. I don't even know if that's gonna continue to happen with all of the controversy around the founder of the person who decided to put together the Cosmere read along this year. But I feel like maybe listening to the audiobook is not the way to go to listen to these books further, or to read these books the first time around. I feel like my mind is wandering so much, and I think I would get a lot more by actually physically reading these. With that being said, though, I decided that I would start the Hero of Ages on Audible today, and so I got to chapter 9, which is about page 79 in this edition, or right here. So I am going to listen to this one, and then I think, I don't know. I might go to Warbreaker next, which is what was planned. If I do, I'm going to read that as a physical book. And then I think I'll move into The Way of Kings later this year in the Stormlight Archives, and pick those up as physical books as well. Skylar's actually listening to The Way of Kings right now, and he's really excited about it, and he wants to tell me about it, but I told him he couldn't because, like, I don't want him to spoil anything for me for when I get to that book, but I'd like to pick it up soon, just to keep his excitement going mostly, and so that way we can actually talk about the book together. But we'll see how that goes. I think I'm gonna stop following the Cosmere read along and just kind of go at my own pace, and because I really want to enjoy Brandon Sanderson, and I really enjoyed Elantris, and it's not that I don't enjoy Mistborn, but I do feel like I am missing out a bit on it, and I think it's partially because I'm just not quite there with wanting to read them yet. I guess we'll see. So yeah, today I've only got about an hour before Sky gets home, and I need to film my June wrap up and also do my second quarter wrap up, which I'm really excited about. Just comparing from last quarter to this quarter. I had my violin lesson this morning. I ran up to the Social Security office in a town nearby. We've basically got my town, and then the next town over is where my violin lesson is, and then the next town up from that is where the Social Security office is. So I decided to go to the Social Security office this morning before my lesson, and I was told over the phone what documents I needed. This is all to get my last name changed. And it was told that I could slip my packet through their door and they could process it that way, or I could mail it in. And because my passport has to be mailed, I figured it was safer if I slipped it through the door. But I called the local number, just to make sure, like, I didn't need to write anything on the packet, and the lady's like, well, that's really not secure and you should just mail it in, that's the most secure way. So I didn't get that finished. I really just wish they would be open, so that I could do it in person and be done with, and that way I can start working on getting my passport. I guess I'd have to get a brand new passport, get my driver's license, all that other stuff, and then start changing bills over. But with everything right now, an already tedious process is even more tedious. So out of annoyance, I guess I'm going to hang on to my packet for another week or so until I decide that I want to mail it off. And maybe in that time the office will open so that I can go do that. But we'll see. So yeah, I think I'm gonna get to filming now. That way I can hopefully get done with this stuff before Skylar gets home. I just wanted to pop in for a quick non-reading update. I've got my doggy buddies with me. Ronan's back there, and then Aoife's under the desk again. I have one set of neighbors behind me that I hate. I think we all have that neighbor. These are the people who don't maintain their lawns. They yell and scream at each other and their kids in the yard and don't care who's around and who's listening. and what kind of profanities they're throwing around when there's other kids around who you may not want exposed to profanities like that. They are just awful. They're the types of neighbors who don't have a fenced yard and have dogs, and they let their dogs run around and poop in other people's property, and they don't bother to clean up after it. They also yell and scream at their dogs, so their dogs aren't well trained, and they're scared now, so they don't listen to commands and run away. I know at some point I've done a couple of vlogs in my backyard, and I've shown you like their overgrown yard. I've shown you the shed that has been a work in progress for as long as I've lived here, which is 6 years, and still doesn't have siding on it. The only thing they care about is their giant pool, which is cool, but they just kind of suck. Last year they cut down a tree right before the 4th of July. And instead of taking the time, you know, it would have taken a day. They've got teenage kids, like, put them to work. Instead of taking the time to clean up the tree so that it wasn't a fire hazard, they put sprinklers on top of the tree and left them on the entire 4th of July so that they could be those a-holes that lit off fireworks the entire night. And we thought that maybe they were renters and then they bought the home, and we thought maybe, which I don't want to hope this on anybody, but we thought they got evicted and their house foreclosed on because they weren't there for quite some time. But I think the husband and wife split up, and maybe she went to her parents or something like that and took the kids with her. I don't really know what happened. But they came back like 2 weeks ago and haven't bothered to clean up their yard. They got their pool all set up. And I don't think they did last night, but I know they did the night before. They lit off a couple fireworks, and it's like, you're a week early. Be respectful of your neighbors who actually have to get up and go to work, who also have animals that may not be the most comfortable around fireworks and shouldn't have to be stressed out for a full week before the one night of the year that you get to spend all your money and light it off into the sky. So anyway, the reason that Aoife was under my desk was because there was a boom, and I assume one of the kids lit off a firework, so she came in here a little scared. That's not really how I wanted to start this, and I don't really want to rant about them anymore, so we'll just be done here. But I got an order today from Michaels. I have been making a baby blanket for a friend for, I don't know, since like the end of March. And I ran out of the yarn I was using. And I was waiting, and I've been stalking Michael's website to see if the color would come back in, and it seemed like it was discontinued. So I was gonna substitute in and do like rows of colors and maybe do like pink and gray or pink and white. So I finally asked her, like, do you like gray or do you like white? And then when I went to go and order the white, I noticed that the pink that I needed was back in stock. So I have here a box of 10 more skeins of this Dusty Rose jumbo yarn. So I can finally finish her baby blanket. The baby is already here. And it's not so much a baby blanket as it's going to be, it's one of those chunky knit blankets, obviously, that she wanted big enough to grow with the baby. So I'm not sure I've showed you. Let me put you down really fast. My head's going to be cut off, but you don't really need to see me. So I've been knitting on these jumbo US size 50 knitting needles here. And they are circular needles because I bought jumbo needles that are right here and were not long enough. So I've got the blanket on jumbo knitting needles, and I'm just doing a knit 3, purl 3 for 3 rows, and then I change it so that it's got, like, I don't know what this stitch or this pattern's called, but that's what it looks like. So I'm happy. I've got 2 skeins and a partial left of what I had originally ordered, which was 7, and another 10. So hopefully that'll be enough to finish this off, but we shall see, and I'll keep you updated on my progress as I go. So I basically just sat on the couch like a sack of potatoes after I got off work. I did run to the store and I got some pot pies for us to pop into the oven, and refilmed because I filmed it yesterday.
What are you doing? It's bedtime.
I refilmed my second quarter goals review. And then I just cast my to watch list onto the TV and watched a whole bunch of videos. I finally am under 100 in my list now. I think I'm at 99, which is fantastic. But last night I didn't have a book to read in bed. I was watching YouTube videos, and I really like ending my day reading a book. So I was gonna take yesterday and today off since it's the last day of the month, and I don't really like to have a book started in one month and finished in another month, but I want a book to go to bed with tonight. So I am going to pick up Finding God in the Lord of the Rings by, I think it's Kent Brenner and Paul Ware. Maybe it's not Paul. What is it? Jim Ware. And it's Kurt, not Kent. So this is a really, really small book that Skylar owned prior to us starting to date. I'm not actually religious, but he is, and I know, not growing up having read the Bible or knowing the stories, being very familiar with them, there's a lot of biblical symbolism and like metaphors in literature that I just don't pick up on. So I think it'll be really interesting knowing that J.R.R. Tolkien was, I'm pretty sure he was a Christian, but he had a strong faith in God, I believe. Knowing that, and knowing that there is a lot of that in the Lord of the Rings series, makes me really intrigued to pick this up and just kind of read while those stories are still fresh in my mind, what I definitely missed out on. So I'm excited to read this. It's, I can tell you now how many pages it is. Maybe. There's a lot of blank pages in it. Okay. Let's see, there's end notes. It looks like this ends on page 117, so not long at all. I should probably have it finished up here in the next couple of days. So I'm really looking forward to jumping into this. I picked my bookmark that doesn't really have anything to do with Lord of the Rings, but it kind of matches this, and it's got a treble clef and some music staffs, and it just says, "Music gives a soul to the universe, wings to the mind, flight to the imagination, and life to everything," which apparently is a Plato quote. But the reason I picked this, I usually try to, this is, you don't even need to know this, but a fun fact about me is when I pick bookmarks, I try to match either the cover or the, I guess, like genre or like the themes inside the book. But the reason I picked this music one is because I love the film score that Howard Shore wrote for the 3 films. I think he also did The Hobbit as well, so the 6 films, I guess. And In Dreams is one of my favorite songs to just, I always hum that song all the time, no matter what. It's kind of like my theme song, as dictated by myself. But I don't know, music just makes me think of The Hobbit, so that's why I picked that one. I didn't read any of the Hero of Ages today. I just didn't feel like it, to be honest. So yeah, just a lot of YouTube watching happened today. is it. But as I just got hollered at for it being bedtime and me not being in bed, I am gonna go get ready and get the makeup off my face and crawl in bed and see how far in this I can get. So I should hopefully have a good update for you tomorrow with this, but we shall see. So last night I maybe got through a whopping 10 pages of this because my reading light needed a charge. So I just want to show you my reading light in case you're interested. I picked this one up on Amazon, and it's got two little antenna things, and there's 3 different settings on the lights. So you've got low, medium, and high. So you could set them at the same, you can only use one, whatever you want. You can move these around and bend the little antennas like as much as you want and stuff. It's got a pretty hefty clip on it. And I don't honestly know what this blue light or button is for, but it flashes. And then I think you might be able to put a battery in. Yeah, it's a replaceable battery, but there's also and you're not going to be able to see that, but there's a port that you can recharge it with, which I think is pretty cool. So, but when the battery runs low, it definitely makes it hard to read. So I didn't get very much done in the book. I can probably finish it tonight though. Maybe we'll see how far I'm able to get. But I all of a sudden started breaking out into Sound of Music songs in the kitchen when Skylar and I were cleaning up after dinner. So I think I am going to sit on the couch and bring this massive box of pink yarn out with me and get as far in that baby blanket as I possibly can and watch The Sound of Music, because that sounds like a lot of fun. And I haven't seen it in a while, so I think I'll do that because Skylar definitely does not want to watch that with me. And he wants to play video games with his friends online, so he'll be doing that with his headphones on, and I can watch The Sound of Music to my heart's content and knit. I wanted to start a new little project because I did finish off my little green blanket yesterday. I haven't woven in the ends or anything. And it's basically just a long rectangle, but it'll work for like prop purposes if I just have it folded up and things like that, I think. Sorry, I was just making you go a little wonky. But I've also got just one skein of this Lion Brand yarn that I got for $2 for the skein at Walmart that I want to make another little blanket with. I'll probably do a different pattern. And I already know what pattern I want to do, but I figured it's probably more important that I get the baby blanket done first. That way I can schedule a time to go see my friend for when she's ready to have people around her baby. I think she's slowly introducing people to her baby. And we had mentioned wanting to get together this summer for a barbecue and just be outside and stuff, so we didn't have to be too close. So I want to get that done. That way I'm ready for whenever we see her. So yeah, that's what I need to do. I am gonna take my ring off and go put it away because I don't want any of the yarn getting caught on my ring and it looking, you know, like fly away and gross. I want it to look really nice. So that's what I need to do, and then I gotta figure out how I can watch The Sound of Music. It's probably on Disney Plus, I assume. Maybe on Netflix. I don't know if it's Disney owned or what, but I'm gonna look into that and I'll probably check in with you tomorrow. Alright, Sound of Music is on Disney Plus, but I wanted to show you all what this blanket looks like laid out right now. That's as far as I've made it. I want to say that it might be the size of a twin. If you yanked on it a little bit, it would definitely cover your lap and go over the sides a little bit. So I think it'll be perfect for a baby blanket, but I've got that to work on while I watch The Sound of Music. You make it really difficult to knit, bud. It has been a busy week of not picking up the camera to vlog. I don't even remember the last day I honestly talked to the camera. I'm still reading The Hero of Ages and Finding God in the Lord of the Rings. I should finish Finding God in the Lord of the Rings today. I've got about 40 some odd pages left. It's a really short book, but it's one that you can't just sit down and really fly through. I feel like a lot of what's being talked about right now in that book is very prevalent to what's going on in the world. So it's just interesting to read through and kind of absorb and stuff. So I'm enjoying that, but it's taking me quite a while to read 120 pages. We've got the kiddo for an extended amount of time. We picked him up Friday morning because Sky and I both weren't working, and we pretty much played games the whole day. They played a round of Pokemon, and then we played the Disney Villains game as well, which we've been having a lot of fun with. Yesterday was the 4th. We set up a water slide and had the neighbor kid come over. It's like a big, it's probably 5 foot high, like a bouncy house material, so a blow up water slide that those two crazy boys had fun running around in. And today we are going to celebrate Maddie's birthday this evening with my parents and brother. My brother was camping and my dad was out at the ocean. So we're gonna celebrate this evening, give the kiddo some gifts, and have chili dogs because that's what he requested, and eat some brownies and ice cream. So that's pretty much how my past couple of days have been. I've been working on that pink blanket I showed you, and I've gotten pretty far. Before I close out this vlog, I'll show you the progress I've made on that. And yeah, other than that, we've been watching some movies. We watched Power Rangers again on Friday. We watched, what did we watch last night? We watched X-Men last night. And who knows what tonight we'll have in store. I'll probably wait to edit this until the kiddo goes to bed and get it uploaded. I mean, it's probably not very long since I haven't been picking up the camera much this week. So it shouldn't take me too long to get it edited and scheduled for upload. But yeah, we've been busy enjoying the somewhat warm-ish weather. It was pretty gray and overcast yesterday, but now it's blue skies. And I think the dogs will appreciate, hopefully, no fireworks going off today. We'll see. Aoife girl was pretty stressed out last night. Alright, so my battery died before I finished the last update, but I think I was telling you about Aoife and how the fireworks really bother her. So I think for New Year's Eve, I'm gonna look into I know you can give them either melatonin or Benadryl, or you could get like a prescription kind of downer relaxer thing from the vet. So I think I might do that for New Year's Eve just because it does stress her out a lot. But I just picked up a couple of white plastic pots at the grocery store that I would like to repot some of my plants in because they're all mismatching, and that's okay, but I don't really like the look of it too well. So that's what I'm gonna do now.
We got caught, huh? Actually, she got caught. We interrupted. Do you need help carrying plants over?
I will.
We're here to help.
Thank you. I'm not done.
We're over here to start a little laundry.
Okay. I'm gonna keep going.
This is my phone.
This is my plant. So this is my China doll that I actually got from a coworker before we started working from home, and she grows pretty tall. I've had to snip it down just a little bit, but it's just in this regular pot that it came in, and this sits in my book cart that's by my bookcases, and you can see I've got some fake paper flowers in those. And then this corner here, the plants do really well here, but they're all mismatched pots, and I'd like them to look a little nicer together. So this is supposed to be an annual, but it's been alive for I think 2 or 3 years. This I got from Sky's grandma, and I think probably needs a deeper pot or needs to be planted deeper. That way it'll grow straight. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep those two, but I might. I've got a little succulent in a chair over there that's doing just fine. But then I've got this really tall, I don't know what it is. It's kind of like a cactus sort of thing, I assume, because it's got spikes, but I call it spike. And it's got 2 more growing in there and some other fuzzy stuff that I'm going to put in, I think, an 8-inch pot. I think that'll do well. And then I've got this little tree. I think it's called a Ming Aurelia. That was a start from my brother's Ming, which is massive, like massive, massive. And I think it needs a bigger pot so it'll grow a little bigger, but I do like this one, so I think I'm gonna keep it because it is like a white cream color that I'll be able to still keep these pots in. So I might put spike in this one. And then I've got another succulent there. That one died, but this one here was from my other coworker's bridal shower last year. Alright, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this vlog up here. We just put the kid to bed, so now I've got my time to edit and get this scheduled for tomorrow morning. I know I said I would show you my baby blanket progress, but I will show you that in next week's vlog, as well as the plants that I repotted. I will have Hero of Ages carrying over into next week, and I think I should be able to finish the last 30 pages of Finding God in the Lord of the Rings tonight, but we'll see. Pretty slow reading week overall, but it was a busy week, and I feel okay, I guess, with the progress I made. I'm really far ahead on my reading goal for the year for Goodreads to finish 100 books, so it's not like if I don't finish a book or 2 this week that I'll be falling behind or have that added stress or pressure or anything on me, which is nice. But yeah, overall interesting reads. I'm looking forward to getting further in the Hero of Ages and wrapping up Finding God in the Lord of the Rings. I think I want to start the first Percy Jackson book tomorrow, if I finish my physical book tonight, but we'll kind of have to see. Yeah, so overall it's been a really nice day celebrating the kid's birthday and spending time with family and hanging out with the neighbors and all those sorts of things. So I hope you had a really nice week as well and had a happy and safe 4th of July as well if you celebrate in the United States. And as always, I would love to know what you picked up this week to read. So if you feel so inclined, please do let me know down in the comments below, and I will chat with you there until my next video. Bye.